making you feel the love in the air? Is it just more than a feeling? Or is it an experience? Is it a movement? Is it a wave? Is it a song? Is it like a cool, gentle breeze on a hot summer day? Or is it a warm blanket in the dead of a cold night? If you can feel it tonight, then you can feel love. This is still Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, and if you can hear the sound of my voice, I'd like to welcome you to Heartbeat, a program dedicated to all the lovers out there, from the young lovers to the old flames. This is a program for you. On Heartbeat, we like to take a journey down lover's lane to explore love in all its beauties and complexities, to celebrate love, to learn, to study love, to embrace love, and also to share and spread that love. My name is Bucci, and like a deck of cards, I am your Jack of Hearts, and I want to welcome you all tonight to the Lover's Hour, to this program exclusive to Human Rights Radio, dedicated to you out there. So, if you're wrapped up in the arms of that very special person you call your heartbeat, or maybe your lonely heart out there, just reaching out and looking for someone to love, or maybe there's someone you love, someone that's dear to you, special, that you just want to reach out to and tell them how you feel. Or maybe you're a troubled heart tonight and you have questions to problems that you just can't find a solution to, especially when it comes to your relationship. I want to assure you that you've come to the right place. So keep your dial locked. Don't go anywhere. Tonight we have a very special topic we want to discuss about, like we always do here on this program. Then, of course, we'll open up the lines to you out there for you to call in, to share your thoughts this evening. Let us know how you are, how you feel tonight. What's troubling you tonight? And who's that special person you want to reach out to? So don't go anywhere. Keep your dial locked. We'll be right back after this very quick and short musical interlude. down with many streams, creating pools along the way, pools that refresh our souls, that refresh our minds, and touch us in ways we can possibly not imagine. You're still tuned to Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, and if you can hear the sound of my voice, you're on to Heartbeat, a special program dedicated to all the lovers out there. And of course, my name still remains Bucci, and like a deck of cards, I am your Jack of Hearts. And in the immortal words of Charlie Chaplin, I'm a tramp, a gentleman, a poet, a dreamer, a lonely fellow, always hopeful of romance and an adventure. Tonight, once again, we take another journey down Lover's Lane. We open up a new chapter in our lives and learn about something that we tend to overlook in our relationships. We tend to see it in ways that sometimes we may think it's some form of breaking up or some form of just trying to be keeping secrets or creating that void in your relationship. Tonight I want to talk about setting boundaries. What do we mean by setting boundaries, especially when it comes to the context of our relationships? You see, like I said, there's a lot of misconception about what boundaries are and what they do for your relationships. You see, the truth is, we may feel that boundaries are unnecessary because maybe you feel your partner is supposed to already know or act on your needs and your wants. Or maybe you feel that boundaries might ruin your relationship or interfere with that spice, with what's going on, with that bubble, that cloud of love that you're floating on. But in reality, every healthy relationship, all relationships, any healthy relationships, they all have to have boundaries. Now, a relationship cannot be healthy until both partners communicate their boundaries clearly. They must understand one another. They must respect each other and respect the boundaries that are attached to said relationships. That's what makes a healthy relationship. That's what gives you the context of a healthy relationships. Respecting each other's boundaries, each other's spaces. Now, you have to realize something. Before you got into this relationship or before you decided to become a unit, a couple, married, whether dating, before you decide to come together, both parties, you, your partner, came from different places and are individuals in your own right. You're not attached to the hip. You weren't born together. This is what makes the foundations of a healthy relationships. Understanding the space, understanding each other's space, each other's need for space. Now, what do I mean by this? I'm not saying no, it's something that it's not. I'm not saying this is something that promotes friction in your relationship. No, but a respect for each other's boundaries, a respect for each other's space, is something that is key and vital. You see, sometimes, and even in friendships, you need a break to reignite a relationship. A relationship is sort of like an engine. It's like a car engine. The car can't keep running without getting a tune-up, without going for some sort of maintenance or some sort of repair. If you keep driving that car constantly, every day, at some point it's going to break down. Sometimes you have to give it room to breathe. You have to give it that space. It has to get that tune-up. And just like we were talking about individuality in your relationships or individuality of the person, so must the relationship respect the individuality of the person. Like I said, when you got into your relationship, when you start that relationship, you must understand that there are boundaries. Boundaries that define said relationship. Now, as individuals, two different people coming together to make up, or to, how would I put it, to form this relationship, to come together. A man will always be a man, a woman will always be a woman. There's certain things and certain aspects of your relationship that maybe your partner may not be equipped enough to handle or understand. And sometimes you need that external voice. Sometimes you just need that space. It's healthy. It's a healthy part of boundaries, especially a healthy boundary in your relationships. And the thing is, we have to understand, a relationship, like I said, can't be healthy until both partners communicate their boundaries clearly. And of course, not just communicating those boundaries clearly, it's also both parties, or both the other person, respecting those boundaries. Now, healthy boundaries in a relationship don't come naturally. And also, they don't come easily. Now, we're talking about healthy relationships and unhealthy relationships. We're talking about healthy boundaries and unhealthy boundaries. What do I mean by this? Let me give you some context. Let me give you some aspects. Now, in a healthy relationship, each partner, there must be a feeling of responsibility, or being responsible for your own happiness. This is where the context of being an individual comes in. If you're sitting back and waiting, or you feel your relationship, it's your partner's job to make you happy, that's wrong. Or you feel you derive that happiness from your partner, that's wrong. An unhealthy relationship is feeling incomplete without your partner, while a healthy one is feeling responsible for your own happiness. Happiness comes from within. It doesn't come from anybody else. It comes from you. And if you're not a happy person on your own, and you feel your happiness is tied to your partner, it's your partner's job to make you happy, that's a huge responsibility, and that can put a big dent in your relationship. A healthy relationship tolerates friendships that exist outside of your relationship, whereas an unhealthy one relies on your partner for, like I said, for happiness, for that friendship. Your husband or your wife is your husband and your wife. They can't be your best friend. They can't be your only friend. They can't be you have to have healthy communication with people on the outside. It's a normal thing. A healthy relationship also thrives on open and honest communication. And if you follow this program a lot, one of the main things that I always drill and say, a healthy relationship, the foundation of any good, healthy relationship relies on open and honest communication. An unhealthy one, of course, is game playing or manipulation. Trying to circumvent. We talked about emotional blackmail not too long ago. Kind to manipulate your partner towards getting what you want, towards attaining your own selfish needs. A healthy relationship is respecting the difference in opinion of your partner. Your partner can't agree with you on everything you say. It's not possible. That's why you're individuals. That's why you come from two different places. You think differently. You grew up differently. You may share some common goals. You may share some common views and ideals. But of course, you have to respect your differences. There are still differences. An unhealthy relationship, I'm sorry to say this, but jealousy. Jealousy makes up a part of an unhealthy relationship. I've been in relationships where I had ladies telling me, oh, you're not, you don't love me because you're not jealous of me. You don't fight for me. And that's not true. Jealousy is an unhealthy part, because jealousy means mistrust. You do not trust that person. You're jealous. Why? Why are you jealous? You have to have that that confidence in your relationship. And you have to have that faith, because like we say, relationships, they call for a leap of faith. You put your trust. It's like putting your trust in God. You put your blind trust in this person, that this person has your interest at their heart. They have your best interest at heart. Jealousy doesn't help it. It's an unhealthy part of a relationship. A healthy relationship is asking honestly what is wanted. What do I mean by this? When I say honest and open communication, this is also it. It comes part to what does this relate? What do you want? What can we do to enhance this relationship? Having that honest, open communication. An unhealthy relationship is feeling unable to express what is wanted. If you cannot honestly open up to your partner and just tell them flat out, this is what I want. This is what I want in my relationship. If you cannot do that, then you're in an unhealthy relationship. If you're afraid of, I might hurt this person's feelings, therefore let me keep my mouth shut and repress what is inside my chest, then you're just breeding the grounds of an unhealthy relationship. And another good part, or another healthy part of a relationship, is accepting the end. Now, many of us don't want to admit this. Many of us don't want to even say it. But the truth is, sometimes you have to know when the end comes. You have to be able to say, you know what? The relationship has run its course. This is the end. And accepting it. An unhealthy relationship is not being able to let go. What's done is done. Leave it alone. Don't regret it. When you can't let go of that person, even though there is no love, you feel, I can't breathe with this person. I'm attached to this person. This person is my life. This person is all my happiness. That's not a healthy relationship. That's not a healthy part of it. You see, we're talking about establishing boundaries. Now, establishing healthy boundaries in relationships allows both parties to feel comfortable and also develops positive self-esteem. You see, in order to establish boundaries, you need to be clear with your partner about who you are, what you want, what are your beliefs, what are your values, what is your limit. You need to be able to establish this even before moving forward. This is what it is. Your partner also lays it down too, and then you decide, you judge from there and know how you move forward together. You see, a lot of times we tend to focus on just adjusting the other person. Oh, why don't you change this? And then no. The thing is, when you do that, you're taking time away from focusing on yourself. Let me set this person right so that it suits me. No. The thing is, that person should have their own priorities on deck, and so should you. You should have your own priorities on deck, so you know how the two of you can meet in the middle without a feeling of, well, I'm changing myself and I've done all this thing just to make this person happy. That's how it should be. You see, when setting boundaries for yourself, you have to set boundaries that reflect who you are and who you ultimately want to be. You see, that will only enhance the setting of boundaries with your partner in your relationship. That's the only way to set it. When you set these boundaries, this is who I am, this is what I can take, this is my limit. This is where I bend before I break. This is my breaking point. Your partner does the same thing. So you both know where both of you are coming from. So if there's any kind of fundamental change or something, it's not coming from left field. It's not, I don't know, the person all of a sudden suddenly changed. No. It's something that's been established in the constitution, in the foundation of that relationship. You see, our boundaries, whether they're big or small, are important. And of course, they deserve to be respected. I said this from the beginning. When you're setting your boundaries, it's something that both parties, both you and your partner, know, understand, and respect. Now, you see, I wanted to give an example, but okay, all right, let me do this. All right. Like, for example, let me give these examples now, of maybe a small or not so serious boundary. And also, I'll give you an example of a big and probably a very serious boundary that, you'll see what I mean. Okay, like now, check this out. You see, your partner has clearly communicated to you that they don't want to, maybe they don't want you to go through the use of their belongings, their things. This happens. Some people are touchy and personal with it. My personal items should be should be for me. And if you want to go through them or you want to use them, please ask me first. Some people do this. It might seem like a small thing, but for some people it's a big thing. Maybe it's a car. Let's use a car. Maybe you've already set this boundary. If you're going to do this or whatever, fine. One morning you go to start your car and the car is dead. It won't start for some reason or whatever. And you meet your partner and you decide, okay, I'm just going to take her car. You know what? I'm just going to take her car, or I'm just going to grab his keys. He wouldn't mind. And you drive off. Instead of maybe consulting with your partner first or letting them know, oh, this is the situation. This is it. And then you find yourself, your partner is angry. Why did you do something? And you're like, is it not? No. But the thing is, from the day one, from the beginning of that exchange, a certain boundary was laid down. And you, as an individual, did not respect that boundary. You see, you set yourself a boundary that you will not, maybe let me use another. You won't let anyone control you in a relationship. Let me give you another example. You give yourself that boundary. Maybe as a lady, you were in a very controlling relationship. Your boyfriend was the kind of person that if you sit down here, you sit here, you don't talk, you don't do this. And now you decide, you know what, moving forward, the next person I'm going to date, I don't want somebody who will try and control me. You then decide that that's your boundary. And now you've communicated this boundary to your new boyfriend, your new partner. I don't want somebody to control me, control every part of my being in a relationship. This can go both ways, whether with a man or a woman. Now, maybe your partner, your boyfriend, or your girlfriend, whoever calls you up and asks whether you have plans for that evening, and you tell them you're going out with your friends, and then your partner gets upset. You know what? You're not going out with your friends. Why would you go out with your friends? And then you flare up. Then your partner is wondering why. You see, a boundary has already been set initially in stone in the beginning of the relationship. You see, the thing is, if your partner has communicated with you, let's say in the first example, that they don't want you using their belongings without their consent, but then you disrespect your partner's boundaries by using that item, maybe the car, like we talked about the first scenario, without their permission. You see, that alone, that is already a disrespect of that person's boundary. It may seem like a small thing to you. Well, are we not dating? We're together. It's not a big deal. But there's a reason why that boundary was set. There's a reason why. Like we all say, we're all very different individuals. We all think differently. We all reason differently. Everybody has their own quirks. Everybody has their own thing. You see, you've already disrespected that boundary. You see, in your mind, maybe the reason behind going against your partner's boundary in that sense, it may not seem like a big deal to you, but it could be, like I said, a big deal to your partner. Now, let's say the second example, that you set a boundary for yourself that you won't be controlled by anyone in your relationship. Not only was your partner now who's commanding you, oh, don't go out, you have now that person is disrespecting that boundary you've set. And now in that context, you weren't also being consistent or considerate with your own boundary. Now, regardless of how big or small the boundary or boundaries or the boundary violation even, no one likes to have their boundaries to be ignored or disrespected, and that's the truth. If you break your own boundaries because you're scared your partner's reaction, that's a huge red flag already that you are in an unhealthy relationship. You see, in a healthy relationship, you should never be afraid of your partner or their reactions. You should never feel any kind of shame or fear that your partner is, I'm going to hurt this person's feelings but then it's detrimental to myself, but I don't want to hurt their feelings. No. My father will always say conflict is a good part of it's a healthy part of any relationship. You must have disagreements. But then if you feel you have to violate your own boundaries to please your partner, that's a huge red sign. Now, tonight I want to give you a few tips, just a few tips to get started and get you started or help you towards establishing boundaries with your partner in your relationship. First things first, and I can't stress this enough. Communication. Communicate your thoughts with one another. I can't stress this enough. Be honest, but be respectful. You see, you have to be honest and at the same time respectful when you're sharing your own thoughts and feelings with your partner. You see, it's normal and it's okay to need time to gather your own thoughts and your own feelings. You need that alone time. You need your me time. It's normal. But see, don't use that approach to avoid maybe a conversation. Maybe there's an important conversation in your relationship you should have, and then you say, you know what, it's me time. I'm not going to talk about this now. No. It's important to have your own time, but when it's time for your relationship, give also that equal amount of time and energy towards building and establishing your relationship, fostering that unity, that bond, especially if you're in that committed relationship. It's important. Don't try and skip away. Oh, okay, we're going to have that. No, you know what? This is my me time. That doesn't work. Never assume or guess your partner's feelings. Assumption is the killer of all relationships. Never assume. You see, making assumptions can create a lot of misunderstandings in a relationship. You may be feeling like you know your partner very well and that you feel you're entitled to assume what they want or they need at any point in time without even asking them. That's wrong. Don't assume. Ask. If you have to ask 50 times, ask 50 times. There's nothing wrong in specificity. There's nothing wrong in clarity. The thing is, don't assume. The best thing is just ask. Like I said, just ask rather than assume. It saves you a lot of stress. It saves you a lot of headache. Now, follow through on what you say. Practice what you preach. You see, when you're setting boundaries and you're not executing those boundaries, you're not putting up those boundaries or those walls, whenever they get violated, you have no right to get angry. You have no right to be upset. You're crossing my boundaries. But then, you yourself, were you also following said boundaries? Were you also respecting those boundaries? You see, setting boundaries and not executing them lets the other person think they have an excuse to continue to overstep on your boundaries. You shouldn't make any exceptions to your own boundaries without careful consideration before you even find yourself being compromised in that situation. Don't. If you're not going to compromise on a certain thing, or you don't want to compromise, then stick to your guns on it. It helps set that boundary. It helps put that standard there. I know that this is what upsets my girlfriend, or I know this is what upsets my husband. We've talked about this. This is his limit. This is his point. This is her point. I respect that. And you yourself, who set said boundaries, also have to follow through. Well, I know he doesn't like it, but let me just... I know he knows that I don't like this thing, but I'm just going to let it slide. He's going to keep repeating that thing over and over. And then the day you blow up, he then sits there and he's looking at you like, I don't understand what the problem is. That's because you yourself were not respecting set boundaries that were supposed to be established in the first place. The other point is taking responsibility for your actions, living in your truth. That's actually one of my mottos this year, to live in my truth. We should always live in it. Take responsibility for your actions instead of immediately blaming your partner for a situation or how you're feeling. Why don't you just take a step back and think about the choice you made in your relationship and see if they have contributed to that situation. Always remember, it takes two to tango. You can't sit back and blame one person. It's your fault. It's because of you. It went like this. No. What about your own responsibility? What about your own act in the action? Nobody's 100% to blame. Nobody's 100% at fault. It's both parties. It takes two people. So why not consider that? Consider your own part before you heap the blame on your partner and say, well, your partner did this, he did, or she did this, it's her fault. It takes two to tango. It takes two people to dance. So why don't you face the music and dance? And also, like I said earlier, knowing when it's time to move on. Now, what do I mean by this? You see, you can only share how you desire to be treated in a relationship. You can't be responsible for your partner's feelings or communication. Nobody in a relationship, like we said, take responsibility for your actions. You must take responsibilities for your own action, just as your partner must take responsibility for their actions. So, when it comes down to that, everyone has the right to be treated with respect and fairness. If your partner can't respect your boundaries and cannot treat you fairly, then you should know it is time for you to end that relationship. It's time for you to pack and move, because if they can't treat you with that fairness and respect, it's not going to happen down the line. At some point, we have to learn when it's time to let go. It's time to move on. You can't fix everybody. You can't control every situation. You must know and respect that boundary. And if your partner doesn't, and if you don't, then you have to know when to cut the cord and let go. You can't keep saying, well, he's going to change. Oh, well, she's going to change. Or, well, maybe I can change her or she can change. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. There's a certain power in letting go, knowing there's a certain level of maturity in knowing when to say, you know what, this isn't working. You know what, we've tried, and I love you enough to say I'm letting go. Because in the end, what's important is happiness, peace of mind and happiness, and that comes from within. So setting and establishing healthy boundaries, to be honest, is a skill. And it takes time. But remember, healthy boundaries don't come easy. If you trust your instincts, if you're open, and you practice with your partner, the relationship will only get stronger over time. This, of course, is still Human Rights Radio, 101.1 FM. And of course, my name still remains Bucci. And like a deck of cards, I am your Jack of Hearts. We're going to take a musical break. When we come back, I'm going to open up the phone lines to you out there for you to call in, share your thoughts, because I'm here for you tonight. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
It's about that.
Back to Heartbeats on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. If you can hear the sound of my voice, of course, you're welcome back to the Lover's Hour. Now, I would like to open up the phone lines to you out there for you to call in to share your thoughts tonight on what questions do you have about your own relationships, or even a relationship question, or even a matter of the heart that's troubling you this evening that you're looking for an answer or solution to. Or maybe you just want to reach out to someone special tonight and tell them how much they make you feel, how special they make you feel. You can use this platform to do so. The number to call still remains 081 8999 1011. I'll take it again. 081 8999 1011. You can call in, share your thoughts on, maybe you have a thought about the topic we spoke about this evening. We talked about setting boundaries in a relationship. Like we always say on this program, no man is an island of knowledge. Call in, share your thoughts. It'd be lovely to hear from you. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling me from?
I'm Pharaoh, calling from Jahi.
Favor from Jahi. How's Jahi this evening, my sister?
Hi, thank you.
All right, talk to me. What can I do for you tonight?
I just want to say thank you for keeping me company.
Ah, you're welcome, Favor. Thank you for keeping me company, too.
Okay.
All right, then, Favor. Have a fantastic evening, okay?
Thank you.
All right, then. Thank you. This is still Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, and the number to call still remains 081 8999 1011. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good evening, my brother. Good evening, my brother. What's it? Work is fantastic. Work is fantastic. What's your name and where are you calling me from?
You are speaking with SF from Wagman.
From Maraba. How's Maraba this evening, my brother?
From Gaza. I'm calling from Gaza.
From Guagua. Oh, I'm sorry. How's Guagua this evening, my brother?
Fine.
All right, talk to me. What can I do for you tonight?
Yes. This is my first time caller.
Wow. In fact, if you can actually check us out online on our Facebook page. I'm giving you a big salute now this evening.
Okay.
What can I do for you tonight?
Yes. What I want you to do for me is, I don't know if you people do people in a relationship.
That's what we do here. It's our business. It's our game. Talk to me. What can I do for you?
Yes, I need a lady that I can hook up with.
Okay.
Serious relationship. The one I can marry. From Kogi State. The Ghana by tribe.
Okay.
Yes. I'm a graduate.
All right. You know what you're going to do for me, my brother?
Yes.
You're going to text me your name and your details, what the specifications, what you're looking for. Text it to this number. Text it to this line, okay?
Okay.
All right. Do that for me, and I'll see what we can do about hooking you up, all right?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Right.
I'll do that.
No problem. Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you.
All right, then. Have a pleasant morning.
Thank you.
All right. The number to call still remains 081 8999 1011. What's troubling you this evening? What question do you have in your relationship that you're looking for a solution to? Feel free to call in and we'll do our best to help you out. Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Good evening, my brother.
Yeah, good evening.
Welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling me from?
I'm Bala Marcus. I'm calling from Anguala Mujer in Kefi, Nassau State.
All right, Baba Marcus from Kefi, Nassau State. How's Kefi this evening, my brother?
Kefi is very fine, cool and nice.
All
Thank
right.
God.
Fantastic. Talk to me. What can I do for you?
I want you to hook me up with a lady. With a lady, I want you to hook me up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What you're going to do, send me your details. Send your details and your specifications to this number, okay?
Okay.
Text it to me. Let me see what I can do for you tonight, all right?
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
then.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
All right. Tonight we talked about setting boundaries in your relationships. We talked about how important it is, and we also tried to outline and lay out the differences between a healthy boundary and healthy relationship against an unhealthy boundaries and unhealthy relationships. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, my brother.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. I'm sorry. How are you doing today?
I'm good. My name is Kingsley.
Kingsley, where's Kingsley calling me from? Hello, Kingsley. Oh, it looks like we lost that call. Kingsley, if you're out there, please call me back. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Good evening.
Good evening, my brother. What's your name and where you calling me from? Hello?
This is Chinedu calling from Airport Road.
Chinedu from Airport Road. Chinedu, how is Airport Road this evening, my brother?
Hello.
All right. The network is a bit cracky. Could you maybe change your location so that you can hear me and I can hear you? Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, talk to me. What can I do for you this evening?
Please, I want you to help us.
Hello? Hello? Ah, looks like we lost that call. Chinedu, if you can hear me, please call back so I can hear you properly. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, my brother. What's your name and where are you calling me from?
Alex, I'm calling from Cuba.
Alex from Kubwa, is that right?
Cuba. Yeah.
All right, Alex, how's Kubwa this evening, my brother?
Yeah, Cuba is cool.
All right, then.
First time call.
Fantastic. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you, my brother.
All right, then. Talk to me.
Yeah, I didn't really know the topic you guys are discussing this evening.
Okay.
But I have a special request. I don't know if you can do that for me.
Please, go ahead.
Okay. My name is Alex, like I said. I live in Cuba. I'm a chef, also in the transport here in Abuja.
Okay.
The favor I need from you is, I don't know if you can help me and hook me up with a sugar mommy. That's what I need for you.
A sugar mommy.
Yeah.
Not a regular mommy, just a sugar one, okay?
Okay, fine.
All right. All right, then. Alex, what you're going to do for me, send me your details. Text it to this line, okay? Text your details to this number, and I'll see what I can do in that regard for you, okay?
Oh, all right. Thanks.
All right, then. No problem. Take care, okay?
Yeah.
All right, then. Right. This is still Human Rights Radio, 101.1 FM. And of course, this is Heartbeat. And of course, my name still remains Bucci. And like a deck of cards, I am your Jack of Hearts. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening, my brother.
Yeah.
Good
My
evening.
name is Badua.
Badua, could you please turn down the volume of your radio set, please?
Okay. My name is Badua.
All right, thank you. Badua, where are you calling me from?
Kudu.
How's Gudu this evening, my brother?
It's cold.
All right, talk to me. What can I do for you?
I want you to tell everybody that first relationship is with Jesus Christ.
Mm.
Then every other one is built on
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then.
Without Jesus, there is no relationship.
Okay.
All right.
All right, then. Thank you, my brother. Have a pleasant evening.
All right.
All right, then. This still is Heartbeat on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. Feel free to call in if there's something troubling you in your relationship or a question that you have regarding matters of the heart. Feel free to call in and let's see what we can do to prefer you or provide you that answer you're looking for. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening, my brother. It sounds like you're just waking up.
Yes, I was waiting to hear from you.
Okay. All right. Well, you're hearing from me now. Welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling me from?
Thank you. I'm Adams from Malabar.
Adams from Maraba. How's Maraba this evening, my brother?
Malabar is fine.
All right. Talk to me. What can I do for you?
I have an issue disturbing me.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was believing God for a woman in a relationship. A promising one.
Mm-hmm.
I met one at the cost of the feeling in my office. The first time we met with her to define our way forward, I saw a number that called her.
Okay.
And the number called her, I saw in the name of the way she studied the name was in Came Love.
Cam Love. Okay.
Yes, and she quickly caught it. I was like, who is this guy? She now said, it's a friend. I said, what kind of a friend is that? She said, friend. And I said, which friend? So when I persuaded her, she now said, you dated her before, but you're no longer together.
Okay.
I said, you're no longer together with him. You still store his number in that way. I don't understand. So since then, I got demoralized, I'm just confused. I don't really know what to say. Though we just met not too long.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
My brother, it sounds like I don't know. For me, in that regard, it's not something to be demoralized about. I think, like you said, you just met and you're still trying to define and understand the parameters of your relationship. Now, there's going to be a lot of trial and error and a lot of getting to know one another with. Now, in that regard, in the fact that with the person that she saved the name as Inkem Love, and I have on my phone, I think an ex-girlfriend that I used to call Ma Cherie, and up till now, I have her number. We're not dating. I mean, she's married. She has about 2 children. It's been long done, but still on my phone, her name and her number is still saved as Ma Cherie.
Okay.
Now,
okay, sir. The name and the number, and with that kind of a name. So that is what got me worried. I guess the name is not Came Love.
No, of course not. I mean, her name is not the person I'm talking about. Her name is not Ma Cherie. Ma Cherie in French means my love. Now, it's the nickname that I knew her with, or it's the nickname that I had for her. But I've not changed it. It's still there on my phone as Ma Cherie. It's registered like that. Although there's nothing going on between me and said person. Now, what I would expect you to do in this regard is actually, find out more. Since you're just getting to know each other, and she tells you this person, she had a relationship with this person and it's over. Why not? If you want to carry on with the relationship or find out further, why not then find out the extent of the relationship with said person? Sometimes in a relationship, you have to have that blind faith. You have to trust that person. You have to put your trust in that person if you want that person to trust you. Now you're trying to build a relationship. You just, get to know her more. Understand who her friends are. Understand who the people in and out of her lives are. And maybe, just maybe, what she's telling you is actually the truth. It's not easy. It's like, whenever you get into a relationship, you have to put your heart on your sleeves and you have to trust that this person has your interest at their heart, your best interest at heart, just as that person has to trust that you have their best interest in heart. It goes both ways. It's the only way you can actually step forward and know. The only way you're going to know is if you put yourself in the fray and find out. Now, I understand it's discouraging, but then you should also talk to her about it. Let her know. You know what? Like you said, you're trying to establish a relationship with this person. You're just getting to know this person. It's the beginning part. this is a good time, like what we talked about here. We talked about setting boundaries tonight. This is a good time to actually know and set it up. Okay, if you don't like this thing, why not tell her, you know what, I don't like the fact that you have your ex-boyfriend's name saved as this. Maybe, this is something I'm not comfortable with. Now, if it's somebody that loves and cares about you, she might even put your feelings into consideration. And you know what? I respect you. And you know what? I'm going to change it just to make you feel more secure in this relationship. But you will never know if you don't take that step yourself. All right?
Thank you very much.
All right, my brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best, okay?
All right.
All right, then. Have a pleasant evening. Yes, we talked about tonight, one of the things we talked about tonight was setting boundaries in your relationships. And of course, what you always said, there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes towards setting boundaries, and a lot of things when it comes towards it. It doesn't mean the end of a relationship. It just means setting the parameters to know where you stand with one another. Hello, good evening. Good evening, my brother.
Kingsley, come back.
All right, Kingsley, welcome back.
Yeah. See, my own issue, though I listen to programs, many of the radio stations.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone I think very interested, like the one of the relationships, I would fit in.
Okay.
But anyone that somebody will call, say he need a girl, all those guys or all those girls that have a friend before, it's just for them to build a relationship by disturbing, let me just put it this way, by calling in a radio station that they need this person number,
Okay.
Yes, it's a hookup stuff, but it's nice.
Okay.
But in other way around, I believe when there's a space, to put up a good program on air for people to bring out pour out their feelings, just like this guy that just called now, you just met a girl and you saw a number. Relationship is three something.
Yes.
Trust, belief, and honesty.
Yeah.
And in any relationship, you think when you see something you cannot overlook, I think you'll be, if you're a man, you'll be that woman that will nag forever. If you're a woman and you cannot just overlook, I think there's no need for
Exactly.
you to be in that relationship.
Yeah, it's one of the
Because
things
you
we
don't
talked
even
about.
trust the man, you don't even trust the woman, you don't even believe in him.
Then you can't.
don't
There's no
even believe in
point.
her.
Exactly.
So you cannot even you yourself, you don't even find peace. Setting on the phone,
Yes.
who call us, go through her diary, take the name he stores. His real phone call, maybe in the bathroom, you go there to peep to hear. I think all those are bullshit.
Well,
That's what I was tell all my friends.
let's not use that language. Let's not use that language. Let's
Okay,
let's
sorry,
fine tune
it's
that
wrong.
language. Yes.
It's
Okay.
wrong.
There we go. Thank you.
It's wrong.
All right. Yeah.
I believe any guy that's okay, let me go to this relationship. Mind you, the two of you, it's just like the two fingers. They cannot put together and do one thing.
Of
They
course.
can put together and do one thing,
Of course.
but they cannot be separate and then do one something.
Of course.
The whole fingers must be together before they can grab and pull up. So that's how it's a relationship.
All right.
But people fail to understand and believe, okay, let's set boundaries. You said it all, but let me just add this.
Yes.
There are boundaries you will set on. If a woman says, okay, leave this my shoe here, I don't like this shoe to be moved. When strangers are coming, I have to move it.
Of course.
I tell you, the parlor, I don't want the parlor to be like this. I'm very sorry. When the stranger goes, you can bring your shoe back, or I will bring it back. But for now, we have strangers. Let's just take this thing this way.
Okay.
We now understand each other.
Of course.
And again, second, like the guy said, yes, the guy they just meet. One, you have to trust yourself first.
True.
You have to trust yourself first. Like me, I don't do my relationship based off I trust you. I believe in you.
Of course.
I believe in you. If you go out there, somebody come back and tell me this is what to do, let me see with my eyes now.
Of course. Exactly.
You receive a phone call and let her receive in my presence. Hey, babe, what's up? This person will call you, see your phone. I'll give you the phone. You receive your call, I don't care. Phone is her privacy. Even
Yes,
though
exactly.
You marry the woman, that's her privacy.
It's her privacy,
And your phone is your privacy. If your wife, if you know that you are straight for somebody, even though a woman is calling you, you are taking your bath. Hey, babe, pick that call. Tell the person to at the bath. That's all.
Of course.
It's very easy. Not for you restricting your phone from, you want to go to the bathroom, you go with your phone. You want to go to the, you're just walking around with your phone. That's that's not the way.
That's
I
not
think
being
we have
free.
to
That's not being free in your relationship.
You just have to be free. Everyone have to be free. You see, the man you will live long, the woman you will live long. There will be
Exactly.
happiness all over.
Of course.
People are there to copy from couples, relationships, to learn from one person to another.
Yes.
Not just being always violent. You see her coming, you'll be shouting. From honestly, at times when I saw what young guys like us just do all this thing, I'll be asking myself, can these two get married? That's my first question.
Yeah.
Because once, even though you get married and you try to enjoy this relationship, when you have a baby, what will that baby learn from you?
Of course.
That's another thing. And all those kind of things cause what? Polygamy families.
Yes.
If people cannot hook up from the beginning, from the day one, I think, yes, I can't stay with you, you can't stay with me. It is simple. Let's define it. Bros, take your part of me, I take my part. Let's just part ways.
Exactly. Accepting the end.
That's it. That's my own advice. And again, in our area, I don't know. Since I came back from this thing, I think I've not seen light, like as in straight full light, for about let me say a week. Wow. So when I came back, they are complaining, and our road is very bad.
Okay.
The road is very bad. From Guagua down to Dede, very bad. From Karimu down to Old Karimu, very bad. When you can give somebody an appointment for 30 minutes, something you take even 20 minutes to the time, you take about 2 hours, 3 hours because of the road network.
It's terrible.
So please, if the government can help us for the light, water, I know there's nothing, we don't have any hope of having water, like pump water, anything. So pray for God to give us that, give us a good person that can give us tap water.
Amen to
and
that.
Then the light of the stable. Yes.
All right then.
Thanks very much, Gucci. Good night.
All right, thanks.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I keep making the same mistake myself. But good morning to you too. Thank you so much, my brother.
That's what it is.
All
good
right.
morning.
Okay. Good morning. Thank you.
Take care, yeah.
All right. Yes. That, of course, was Kingsley with his own advice. And yes, it's part of the things we also spoke about when setting boundaries and understanding in your relationships. We talked about, good tips for setting boundaries. We said communicating your thoughts with one another in open, honest, clear dialogue. We talked about never assuming or guessing your partner's feelings. We also talked about following through with what you say. We also talked about taking responsibility of your actions. And of course, like Kingsley pointed out, when it's time to move on, recognizing it and actually moving on. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good morning, my brother.
My name is Michael, calling from Apple Resettlement.
Michael from Apple Resettlement. How's Apple Resettlement this morning, my brother?
Apple Resettlement, very cool, sir.
All right, talk to me. What can I do for you tonight?
Sir, so I want to use this opportunity to say hi to my girlfriend.
Oh, fantastic.
So, my heart.
All right, go ahead. This is your time.
Yes, I want to say thank you to Miss Favor. She has been very good to me. She has tried for me for over a month now since I met her.
Wow.
She always makes me happy.
That's fantastic.
So I just pray that more people are able.
Amen to that, my brother. That's fantastic.
And I want to throw more light to what the first caller just said.
All right, okay, go ahead.
That relationship is just an instant relationship. So you just got to calm down, to study the girl, know each other. And you need to be perseverant, you need to be tolerant. Yes, so they know each other better.
All right.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you, sir.
All right, then. Good night. Have a fantastic evening. Thank you.
I you too, sir.
All right. Of course, this is still Heartbeat on Human Rights Radio, 101.1 FM. And of course, my name still remains Bucci. And like a deck of cards, I am your Jack of Hearts. In setting boundaries, we highlighted, or one of the things we highlighted was the signs of a healthy relationship and an unhealthy relationship. In an healthy relationship, you have to take, their feelings of responsibility. You have to understand that you are responsible for your own happiness. And a sign of a unhealthy one is feeling incomplete without your partner. It's not your partner's job to make you happy. Happiness comes from inside. You must be able to take responsibility for your own happiness. Hello, good evening, or good morning.
Yeah, good morning,
morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Yeah,
What's your name and where are you calling me from? Hello? Oh, looks like we lost that call. Yes, we're talking about signs of healthy and unhealthy relationships and also healthy and unhealthy boundaries. Now, another thing is understanding that friendships exist outside a relationship. One of the things we said was that when you come together as a relationship together, you have to understand that you're both individuals, two different people coming together. That individuality must be respected. Hello, good morning.
good morning. I'm J. Michael calling from Apple.
All right. How's Apple this morning, my brother?
Yeah, Apple is doing good, sir.
All right, now talk to me. What can I do for you tonight?
Sir?
What can I do for you? Talk to me.
Sir, I need your help, please. I am in a relationship with a lady, and she know about my ex, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
The other time I was chatting with my ex on Facebook, and she caught me, so we are having problem about it now, and our engagement, our traditional marriage is step one. So please, I need your help. I don't know what can I do about it. How should I go about it?
Okay, you were chatting with your ex. What kind of chat were you? Was it a sexual chat? Was it just a friendly chat? And how, in what context? Because you said the words you used was that she caught you. Was it something you were trying to hide from her that you're still talking about? That you're still chatting with your ex? I don't understand.
One thing is that I told her I don't have anything to do with my ex. Since I have met her, so. It was this year. I just wish my ex happy New Year. And she responded. I was asking her how is her parents. So I don't know that because right now as I'm talking with you, she's the one using my phone. So I don't know that as my ex responds my message. So the message she responds through Messenger. So and she saw the response there. So she opened it and she find out that me and my ex and we are still chatting. She called me and asked me about it. So I was like denying, as in trying to say how come this and that. I was like trying to cover up that I don't know about it, and I believe that she knows sure that I was chatting with her. So
that's the mistake right there.
Now, so I don't know what.
That's the mistake right there, my brother. That's the mistake. If you're chatting with your ex, you should let your fiance know. And then, like I also said, it also depends on the context of the chatting you were having with your ex. Now, you have to understand, of course, women are sensitive when it comes to things like this, things that concern exes. Now, this is a delicate situation. How long has this quarrel been going on? When did your fiance find out? And
Just started yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. You might just have to give it a little time. She's probably upset, and of course, when people are upset, they tend to say and do things they don't really necessarily mean at that point in time. Now, I think you have to wait till cooler heads prevail, and then you can actually sit down and have this conversation with her. Also, there's family members you can also talk to, maybe a sister, a brother, or a friend you can actually relate to talk with her. You have to let her know and let her assure her, because at this point, it kind of feels like her trust has been betrayed, because you were chatting with your ex and you then, on top of asking, when she asked you, you denied it. And you're trying, that also ends, it adds fuel to the fire right now. So I think the best thing you're going to have to do right now, maybe you give her a little space right now, but then also you have to find a way to, where is she? Is she close to you? Is there some, do you live together?
She's not close to me. She's not close to me. She's at Taraba. She's at Jalingo while I'm in Abuja.
That's another tricky situation, because long distance relationships, these kind of things, if it was that she was close by to you, you could actually go to her, sit her down and talk to her one-on-one and let her know the situation and also apologize. First and foremost, you have to apologize. Sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and accept. I think the mistake you made was actually denying it in the first place. Now you're going to just have to find a way to apologize. Look, I'm sorry I lied. This is what I did. And then try and explain things to her. If there's somebody there, maybe a friend or a family member you can talk to intercede on your behalf, that's another thing. But the most important thing is you have to find a way. if it's a way to to visit her, to see her, to sit down with her, and to see her eye to eye. Sometimes a face-to-face discussion is more important than anything over the phone. There's, I always say this: technology has a way of shielding a lot of things and creating an avenue of lies. Now, if there's a way you can have a face-to-face,
excuse me, can I ask you something?
please go ahead.
Should I stop calling her on phone and sending her messages, or what should I do?
No, you're not going to stop calling her or sending her messages. You're just going to give her a break. Right now, you have to give her some space because she's upset. She has a reason to be upset. You lied to her, and that is the truth right now. Even if there was nothing going on between you and your ex, even if this conversation was friendly, for the fact that she asked you and you denied it, in her mind already, it means that, if you're lying about the conversation, that means you're lying about the familiarity between you and your ex. Now, what I'm saying to you is this thing happened yesterday. You're going to have to give her, just ease off the pedal a bit, because sometimes the more you apologize, it might just be adding fuel to the fire. Let her cool down. Let her temper cool down. Talk to her friends. Is there somebody near her, maybe her family member or a friend or somebody that's close to her? Call that person up, explain the situation to her so that that person can intercede on your behalf, so that at least it'll get to a point where maybe her anger has cooled down, and then you can now call her and talk to her directly. Okay?
Okay. So what do you mean that I should not bring about the issue again?
No. What I mean, you're going to have to address the issue. There's no denying it. You're going to have to address it.
Why you say I should give her a break?
Yes, I'm saying right now, okay, you've called her and she's upset and she's not answering your calls or she's not talking to you. Is that the situation?
No, we spoke today. I called her today, we spoke today.
Okay.
And we even discussed about it. She told me that I'm chatting with my ex, this and that, she's not happy with me. I should not call her, she's my woman, this and that. So my problem is that she don't used to call me the way she used to call me before.
Since yesterday, of course she's not going to call you. She's upset. She's angry. Like I said, okay, I think this might be because this is still quite fresh. She's angry. She's not going to let it go immediately like that. She's angry right now. But what my point is, she's going to need assurances. So since she's actually accepting your calls and listening to you, you might also, maybe you call her up. Of course, you still explain and tell her how sorry you are. Definitely call up a relative too, somebody to also talk to her and also assure her. You have to find a way to make her know, because trust, one thing about trust is very hard to get back once we lose it. So you have to find a way. It's something, redemption isn't instantaneous. I said this a lot. I think I said this once. Redemption is not instantaneous. It takes daily acts of contrition, daily acts to show that you are sorry. Now, you're just going to give it time. If there's that love between the two of you, it's going to take some time, but give it time and let her know, let her understand that you still are you still love her, you're still committed, and you want to get married to her. Give her that assurances, but you also have to allow her to be angry. She has a right to be angry. You messed up. She has a right to be angry. Allow her with her anger. She has the right to be angry, but always let her know and show that you are sorry. In time, it's going to get better. In time, that anger will dissipate and things will get back to the way they were. All right? Looks like we lost that call. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of tonight's program. I want to thank everybody who called in to share their thoughts, to pour out their hearts and contribute as well. I want to thank everybody who called in to do that. Without you out there is no us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. You can actually check us out on our social media pages, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. all you have to do, just type in Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, and you can check out our programming, because we air and we stream all our content live. So you can actually check us out live right now on our social media pages. You can also like, subscribe, share with your friends, and leave a comment out there for us, because feedback from you is what's important. Tell us what we're doing right. Tell us how we can improve our services to you, because without you, like I said, there is no us. I want to thank the production team out there for actually for being out here with me tonight as we do this program and stream it to you. I want to thank Yami in the IT department, and of course Monday in the visual department, for streaming us live and making me look this good. Of course, I also want to thank my co-presenters, my Oga at the top, and everyone out there. Thank you so much. Let's do this again tomorrow, same time, same station. Of course, my name still remains Bucci, and like a deck of cards, I am your Jack of Hearts. And I want you all to remember something as you go to bed tonight. There's only one thing that's important in this life, and that is to love and be loved. Good night, everybody.